All right, today we are installing the full front windshield on the Yamaha Wolverine. This is basically how your windshield is going to come when you receive it. Check, lay it up against your vehicle. Everything first is always the best thing that we recommend before you peel off any plastic or even go about installation. Make sure it's all fitting up. The one thing with like a full windshield like this is that they're made to go up as high as possible and hoping not to interfere with your particular additional accessories. However, there are a gob of accessories out there, so it's very hard to ensure that that's the case. If it doesn't fit with your particular accessories, there's two options. As long as the protected plastic is still on this windshield, you can return it back to us. Number two is you can actually, because of Lexan or polycarbonate's properties, it's very easy to actually cut it if you need to cut out for a roll bar mount or some, a light, not a roll bar mount, but more of like a light bar mount. You can simply use a jigsaw or a router and cut this stuff. It won't crack, it won't break, but that's just the realities of it with all the different roofs and configurations that are out there. So with that being said, we're going to go about installing this. The first thing we want to do is, again, we don't want to remove this protective plastic. We want to peel it back. We're going to peel that back about 2 inches. So it's just past these bolt holes. Do both sides, just a little bit like that, and a little bit like that. Now we got everything out of our way and we're ready to install. Gonna put this guy up here. I'm gonna slide this up into this pocket like this. And don't even worry about getting too carried away with where everything goes actually at this second. Simple and easy thing is just simply get it set into place like this. Take your first clamp, bolt, lock washer, nut, put it on here. Don't get carried away in tightening. These I am literally just going to put them a couple threads on. I'm going to go up all 3 of these clamps here, and I'm really just going to barely thread that bolt on so it's started. Stop. We want to have, if we tighten them down, it's going to make your job harder. So just follow this. It'll be really simple and easy. The reason to talk about not tightening these down while you're doing this is that if you tighten it down, if you have the windshield a little off position and you start securing bolts down before all the clamps are on, one, it off-centers your windshield and takes you twice as long. Okay, now that I've got all 3 of them on, we're going to start with the bottom ones. But what we want to do is we're going to reach up underneath this roof, or up underneath this windshield, and we're going to push down on this windshield. We're going to get it settled down in here, and you can even hold it with your, whatever is your predominant hand. Mine's left, so this one's working good for me this way. And I'm going to push that down so I get a nice tight. If you'll notice, my seal is scrunching across right here. It's compressed. That's when you know you got it right. So you want to compress that down, tighten that on. Okay. Now we're going to move over to this side. We're going to do the exact same thing all over again. We're going to reach up underneath here. We're going to press that down, making sure your bottom clamp stays nice and straight so it looks good after you tighten it down. Then you got to unloosen them and all that. So just kind of make sure your clamp's straight as you're doing it. Again, we're looking to compress our molding. If your molding's not compressed, you're not far enough down. And that wasn't straight, so let's get that down there. That right there. I kind of use the bolt to put a little force in the downward direction so I can keep that scrunched down. And I'm going to cinch that up nice and tight. I'm going to go along. After that, I'm going to make sure these are good. And I'm going to go ahead and cinch them up nice and tight. Proceed around the vehicle like that. I'm just going to skip forward. Just loosen, I'm going to loosely tighten these. I'm not going to get as tighten the bolts all the way. I'm loosely doing it because to move you forward here faster. You don't need to over tighten anything. These all got lock washers and all that kind of a thing on it, so they're going to hold real nice and tight. Now, the last piece of our installation. So the last piece of the installation is our center support bracket here. So there's a center, we have a center bracket here that'll help, again, what makes us different. We do things like this that make all the difference in the world on your vehicle. Any kind of a windshield is going to have a certain amount of flex to the center, so we're going to put this little bracket in here. You notice this little slough bend? It's going to go up against this windshield right here. The easiest way to do this is to not drop the bolt. Jeez. And put your lock washer and nut on there. Set that one like that. Now, so I put my bracket on here loosely. I'm going to take my clamp. My clamp is going to slip over my roll bar just like that. What am I talking about? My clamp is going to slip over my roll bar just like that. Smooth side down, 90 degree at the top. Slip it over. This is slightly offset from center so that it fits through. It doesn't hit on most roofs again. You know, you think you got it to every single roof, and then there's one that's a little different or what have you. So there's always a potential with modification with a full non-tilting windshield. Now once I get that, I'm gonna put that bolt and all that nut and lock washer on there and pull that up to there. And that guy is gonna be centered. I'd make that nice and straight. And then basically, this is really easy. You can just hold these bolts on the top. I mean, you don't need to get Hercules tight here because you got a lock washer. So just press down on the top. So your screwdriver is obviously not going to fit up there. It's a nightmare to try to mess with that. Just cinch that down and cinch this guy down. That's basically the installation for your windshield. Let's. And at this point in time, we would remove the protective plastic. And here's the thing, is that most important thing with your windshield is certainly maintenance on it. Taking care of your windshield, no matter what kind it is a very important thing. Proper way to clean your windshield, always rinse it off with water first. Never, ever, ever use Windex. So those are the two most important things you can do. You're going to have a mar-resistant windshield, but it doesn't matter. Treat your mar-resistant like it's a non-mar-resistant windshield, and it'll look beautiful in 5-10 years down the road. So I'm a big fan on rinsing these off with water first, just squirting them off with some little water, get some dirt and mud off of it, clean it with a dry cloth. Microfibers are always the premium ones, the best ones to use. Be careful when you're wiping the insides. That'll keep you, giving you good longevity on your windshields. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Thank you for your business.